Alright, it's August 30th, 2009. Tom and I are heading up towards Cottonwood Pass and then over towards Crabtree Meadow. That looks like a good place for the first halt. Alright, so we've been walking through the flat sandy horseshoe meadow, and there is Cottonwood Pass up there. So that's the pass we hope to be at roughly lunchtime-ish. And there's looking back towards Horseshoe Meadow. We're probably not too far under Cottonwood Pass right now, hiking through this sort of open forest. And there, after 2 hours and 45 minutes or so, with a couple of rest halts, here we are on the last little bit, headed towards the pass. Alright, we're up and over the pass. We had a little bit of lunch. Not too long with our packs off though, because we still got a ways to go. So now we're heading on down, ultimately over there, hopefully to Rock Creek. Or maybe it's Rush Creek. And it was somewhere right about in here, where in 2001, my dad and I left the trail just about here and cross country down in there into Siberian Outpost. Awfully dry down there. We had a hard time finding water. Alright, well, we just rounded a little knob and I had been mistaken in calling something Siberian Outpost, since the real Siberian Outpost is down in there. And that big mass up there in the distance might be Whitney. When the sun was different, you could see the big avalanche chutes on the back. But out there in Siberian Outpost, you can see the purple flowers. I remember those purple flowers when my dad and I hiked through there. Alright, so I had been mistaken before. I was looking down at Big Whitney Meadow. Now I'm looking at Siberian Outpost for sure. And this is more like about where my dad and I left the main trail and cross country down there to the meadow and then out into the meadow. So now we're taking a little cutoff that goes over to Rock Creek because it's already past 5:30 and we want to get to water, so we don't want to take the 4.3 mile trail that skirts Siberian Outpost. So this will take us only in 1.1 miles over to the creek where we'll get water and then we'll look for a campsite. Boy, the views up here are tremendous. So here's a beautiful little lakelet here on Rock Creek, and with the sun on the crest there. So it's nice and bright and early Monday morning. We walked only 5 or so minutes past that beautiful meadow and camped up here in a little highland area up above the creek, and made dinner as dark was essentially falling. Cleaned up in the dark, and then Tom set up his clip flashlight and I slept out there in the open. It started out warm, but then got down to about 35, and now it's a nice bright sunny day. We've had some breakfast and we're gonna pack up and move on down the trail. Now we're just walking down this nice pretty little creek. Goes through these meadows. A few little fish in it. And up there, the Sierra Crest. So now we've come to the trail junction where the Rock Creek Trail intersects the trail coming down from Siberian Outpost. And we're going to go down this 1.1 miles to the crossing and probably take a little halt, get some water, and then start climbing up towards Crabtree Meadow. Here's a cool tree. This one strip of bark is all that's keeping it alive. There's another view of it. Isn't that cool? So we got to Guyot Creek, and this is where we stopped to have a little lunch. It's another mile and 500 feet maybe up and over Guyot Pass, and then a long swing around down towards Crabtree Meadow. And there's Guyot Creek over there, going down through that green grassy meadow. And here comes Tom up the last few yards up to Guyot Pass. And there is Mount Guyot up there. Whew. Now we're coming back down off of Guyot Pass. That's going to be Guyot Flat down there. But oh man, the views up into the Great Western Divide and the headwaters of the Kern and the King-Kern Divide. Wow. Alright, so we've made it here to Lower Crabtree Meadow. There's Mt Whitney right there in the center. And then here is the beautiful meadow. And there's a deer right over there. There's that deer browsing now. Deer's in shadow, but there's still a little bit of light on the meadow over to our right. And here's the last little bit of alpenglow on Mt Whitney. It's about 7:15. And here's our campsite with the moon there just peering out from around that tree. There's the moon. Not quite full. I think it's supposed to be full on Friday, and today's Monday. Alright, it's Tuesday morning. We got up and we're on the trail by 7, and we're heading to Mt Whitney. Across this little stream here in Upper Crabtree. Sure feels good hiking without the packs on, that's for sure. And here's Tom walking along to, I think what's Timberline Lake. Here we are walking around Timberline Lake. Boy, it sure is a pretty lake. It says it's closed to camping now, and I can see why, because there's not very much of it. And it's really pretty. There we are, hiking towards Mt Whitney. Here's a marmot that we just came across as we were hiking up, saying here, "Good morning." He thinks we're gonna feed him. And now we've arrived at Guitar Lake, where we're gonna stop and get some water, and then push on up to Trail Crest. From this location, you can get a really good sense of why it's called Guitar Lake, with the neck of the guitar up there. Alright, now we've started to climb up these switchbacks up towards Trail Crest. Up, up, up we go. Look at this incredible cirque. Down there to the Hitchcock Lakes. Up there to Mount Hitchcock. So there's the ridge over there, and there's Tom. Just coming around, only a few more 100 feet to the crest. Another view of Guitar Lake. Way down there. And here's Tom coming up. We are now at Trail Crest.
1.9 to go.
Yep. There's the trail snaking around, and up there is Mt Whitney. You can just see the hut up on the top of it. And here's a beautiful little patch of polemonium, all exulting in the sunshine and the high altitude here. Most of the polemonium I've seen up here has been a little bit faded, but this stuff is all still in bloom. And here's a great set of alpine gold. Oh, look how cheery that is. And there's the hut. The last few hundred yards.
So we're just about at the halfway hut.
You're right. All right, and here's Tom looking at the benchmark. Mt Whitney elevation, 14,496. There's Tom up on the top. And there's looking down towards the cabin in Lone Pine. There's the Sierra Crest. I think those are the Palisades. Somewhere over there is Evolution Basin. And over there is Upper Kern, King Kern Divide. And that's looking back towards the south. And I don't know if that's Siberian Outpost or Big Whitney Meadow or who knows what that is. We hiked back off through in there. There's the Hitchcock Lakes again.
Okay, this is Paul up at the summit of Mt. Whitney. Well, we're claiming it's the summit of Mt. Whitney. It could be a blue screen or...
This is all like Photoshopped.
Yeah, or actually it's that really cool poster of Mt. Whitney down in Lone Pine at the drugstore.
White Mountain back there in the distance. Bishop. And then behind me are the Palisades. Back that way.
Pretty spectacular. A really clear day up here. There's some cumulus clouds, but it's just a little bit after 1 o'clock. A little bit windy, but all in all.
All right, now after about 45 minutes there at the top, we start the descent. And look at this incredible view of the Great Western Divide over there. And now the descent. And there are presumably some of the Keeler Needles. And so now, Wednesday morning, we start walking back. We've just broken camp about 10 to 9. There were some clouds up in the sky this morning, but they've disappeared, although the sun seemed kind of filtered and not as with its normal amount of heat. All right, so we made it down here to the creek, and now we're having a little bit of lunch.
Cut.
And there's actually a little bit of drips of rain, and it's going to start raining probably, so we're packing up. So now we're hiking back up Rock Creek. It's been pretty much cloudy all afternoon. Occasional little bits of rain come down, but not enough for us to put the rain gear on. Tom is enjoying his favorite pastime of trying to figure out how to get Garminella to tell him we're at least in the state of California.
Shut up, you liar.
So we hiked up to Soldier Lake, which unfortunately is closed to camping. It did not keep 2 other people from already setting up tents there, but we hiked up another half hour to this spot by a stream, and the sun has just dropped below the cloud, and now we're getting some really pretty golden light coming through horizontally on the trees. There's some more of that beautiful colored light. We've had a concoction of rice and vegetables and tuna, which wasn't half bad. And now we're going to wash up. Okay, it's Thursday morning, and we've decided to head out New Army Pass to get a good view, and then down Cottonwood Lakes and back to the car. This is the little stream that is flowing down from New Army Pass, and it's just so pretty here in the early morning light. And you have these, high grassy areas in the Sierra. And then it continues on up that way, and up there is New Army Pass. And there's Tom hiking on up towards it. Up here at higher elevations, there's still a few things in bloom. This is that sort of daisy-like flower. And it's sort of blooming up and down this dried up watercourse here. And now here we are, almost at the very top of the pass, just walking amongst this big open boulder field. I'll just zoom back here and then over there is the pass, and down to the east side of the Sierra. And then here's Mt Langley from the New Army Pass area. I think you can just see a trail snaking up from where Old Army Pass is, up and around those pillars there, which my guess is a foot trail of people going out to do Langley from New Army Pass. And here we are at New Army Pass. Tom's still looking at Garminella. I think he has us fixed west of the Mississippi now. And there's looking down into Cottonwood Basin. And down at the end of that's going to be Horseshoe Meadows and the car.
I'm pretty sure that's Lake Huron.
Good, Garminella has you right located to pinpoint precision. Alright, so here we go, heading on down. Back down towards the car. Now we're coming down to this lake to have some lunch. Clouds are all thick behind us. It could start thundering any moment. Now we've passed through the Cottonwood Lakes. We stopped at one of them and had lunch, leek soup, pita bread, whatever else we had remaining. And now we're heading down to Cottonwood Creek, maybe 4 miles or so to the car. And now crossing Cottonwood Creek. And crossing the bridge, or crossing the stream again. We're finally back.
Ah, what a trip.
It was a good time, man. We did it again.
Yep. We'd like to thank our producer and directors.
And cut.
Right there.